What's going on, guys and girls? Hammerhead Garage here. What's happening tonight? I want to say happy 4th of July to my American brethren. Hope you guys are all having a good day, friends and family and whatnot. That would be cool. Getting together with some friends and having a barbecue maybe, or we've been having about 5 days worth of steady rain up here, so there hasn't been a whole lot going on up here in Canada the last little while. It's windy and rainy and not really great weather for motorcycling or for anything else really. So there's been a lot of projects been put off, and I did manage to do a little bit of body work on the truck. You guys were following that. I was worried about the driver's side door of the thing, but it turns out it's not in that bad a shape. As I ground off all the paint in the bottom where the rocker sill is, and it actually was really good. I was shocked. I thought for sure it was going to be worse than that. So all I ended up doing was cleaning it up, and I put a thin film of fiberglass resin, like short strand tiger hair, just across the bottom of the rocker sill and a little bit on the door, sanded it all down, and then hit it with the Canyon Black, which seems to be my favorite color out of a spray can. That doesn't look that hot, but it keeps it from rusting further, which is the problem around here, man. You get the friggin' rusties just sitting out in the yard, you can see the thing rusting. That's like any vehicle. Even the modern ones are even worse, if you can believe that, because there's not as much metal on them, right? But anyway, so yeah, I hope you guys are having a good 4th of July down there in the U.S. They canceled Canada Day on us this year. There's a lot of people still had celebrations and whatnot, but yeah. Anyway, having my tea, fellas. I have my Earl Grey tea here, so just gonna have a few sips, and a few fellas are popping in here. There's Mopar Nut and Hoppy, my man. What's going on, fellas? What's going on? The spray can work, never hurt anybody yet. The rattle can restorations, baby. It's all us poor folk can afford. Hoppy, what's Hoppy saying? What's chooching, boys? Not too much chooching, my man. How about you? How you enjoying your 4th of July? I think Canada Day was a bust. Yeah, you wouldn't believe the inside story on that. I'm not going to go into it too much, but it's pretty pathetic. Earl Grey. Yeah, I like that Earl Grey tea. I don't know why. I'm not an Englishman. I like the tea. Because you drink coffee a lot, and you get used to coffee, but after a while it's like, do I really want another coffee? I just had one a few hours ago. Like, let's try a tea, right? So that's what I'm doing. Well, thanks, Hop. I appreciate that. I don't think it looked that great. It was okay. I can paint better than that. I used to paint all the time. I get 6,600 hours, I think, on a spray gun. So I do know how to do it. It's just automotive paint is expensive, boys. So, the best idea would be to do all the body work first before you get going with what you're going to do there. Been doing work all week, and oh yeah, what are you up to, Hop? I seen your video there. You got the motor and the truck and everything, eh? The Danger Ranger, Lima Bean. Tea has more caffeine. Yeah, it does for sure. Definitely does. The camera lies, Hammerman. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. Like I was telling you, the door was actually really good. I was surprised. I took the flapper wheel and ground off all the garbage, and there wasn't much rust in there. A couple little spots, so I just took some of that short strand fiberglass and just dusted her in with that on the sill and banged some of the dents out of the rocker panel, and got her going. And it was okay. It looks not too bad. Mr. Art, how you doing, buddy? Through the whole truck, Rustoleum for the win. I don't know, buddy. I'm not sure what I'm doing yet. I like the Canyon Black, but like I said, I'm having a hell of a time finding spray cans, so I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Um, Started a new job at a high-end restoration shop. Super excited. Cool, buddy. Congratulations. That's awesome. Maybe you'll be able to video some of that. That'd be cool. What else have I got in here? Okay, I put a Dakota Digital dash and 86 Mustang and wired up some lights on a Harley. Okay, right on. Cool. So you're doing a little bit of everything then, Hop. That's good though, buddy, because that's how you expand your knowledge base, right? Just don't be afraid to tackle things. You know, get a good wiring schematic and let her buck. I mean, you know how to read those symbols and stuff. It's not that hard. You just what I used to do is just get it printed up, and then I used to get those yellow highlighters and I just highlight the circuits. I start at the grounds and then I'd work towards the power sources and the switches and just follow it all. And then you can like test this much, and then you test this much, and you test this much. You know how to do it. There's my cuz right on, Joe Canadian. What's going on, buddy? Yeah, the rain's been coming down hard, eh? Last 4 days here, she's been a monsoon, today especially. And with the solar system, I found that the batteries weren't loving it. So during that heavy rain we had earlier in the morning, I had to drag the generator out of the shop down to the powerhouse, plug it in, and run a 3.5 hour power cycle on it and bring the batteries back up. But it's looking like tomorrow afternoon we're going to start getting a bit of sun. It's kind of cool. So what's going on, fellas? There's Kimmy. What's going on, Kimberly? Hello. Yeah, so just enjoying my tea. So, Joe, did you go to the Canada Day thing there at the border? I think you said you did, didn't you? What was that? How was that? Was there many people there? What's Hoppy saying here? No, they won't let me video. They have a couple of cars going for the Joker Award. Can't be seen until the show. Sad wanted to start a show. Hoppy Monkey Garage. Oh, you can still do her. It was canceled. Yeah, I did see that post that it was canceled, but I thought you or a bunch of people were going to show up anyway and just see what it was about. No, it's too bad. I mean, but anyway, at this point, buddy, is there anything really to celebrate at the moment? Well, hopefully there will be next year. Yeah, the Rustoleum deal, Art. I'm not sure yet. Sean doesn't like the idea because he says it's a nightmare to try and scrape off and make anything out of it after that. I can sort of see his point because, well, it's an oil-based rust paint, right? So it's gonna bite onto anything pretty hard. But I don't see if it would be a real issue, because if you sand it down with a DA, you're going to get down there anyway, right? And I can't see it really having a problem sticking to like 2X primer or something like that. I like the high build primer. Nothing at all, yeah. No, I know, man. It's sad, eh? Not like when we were kids, that's for sure. I got to do body work on the Ram in the next month. Oh, yeah. Where does it rust? In the typical places, Joe, like around the rear wheel well arches and the rocker sills and the bottom edges of the doors, or what? Never need to be painted again. Yeah, that Rustoleum does hang on there, I guess, pretty good. If you get the metal clean and you get a good primer base, it'll bite pretty hard. So yeah, if there's anybody there listening, if they have questions about ATVs or whatever, just jump in. Enamel needs hardener. Yeah, see, that's what Sean's saying, though. He's saying to go to the BASF, they have like a Lenko or Binko. It's like their, I don't know, it'd be equivalent to Nason's DuPont, like their cheaper line, but at least it's got an activator in it. And you can just get, like my truck would be probably three pints, I'm thinking, or quarts to paint that. It wouldn't even need a full gallon to get a good paint on it. But really, I mean, after I did, like, the door body work's pretty much done, other than a few really light touch-ups. There's one ding on the other side of the box I have to beat out. It's like a door ding. And then there's a spot on the top of the cab on the roof that has to be ground down and fixed. I might have to weld in a little bit of metal in there. That's all on the whole truck that needs any attention as far as bodywork goes. It's already pretty good. Doors are good. I got one wheel well to do, a rocker or two, and back corner of the front fenders. Yeah, that seems to be a real issue with them things. And you know why? It's because of the damn road salt. And now they got that brine stuff. It's like a liquid salt they spray on the road up here. So that gets in even better than the old crystal salt used to. You guys have the huge cans that can paint a wild car in minutes. They're new and awesome. Oh yeah, look, what's that, Hoppy? It's like a gallon with a spray gun on the top of it or something. I don't know what you're referring to there. I don't think I've ever seen that. Brine kills wires. Yeah, it sure does. Most trucks, though, you probably know this, Joe. Most trucks that are from the 80s and the 70s, like my truck, that are still on the road. Actually, the wires in the range are decent, but a lot of 80s trucks and cars, they get the blackies. And what that is, boys, is you peel back the insulation and the bare copper core wires in there have turned black from like oxidation and it ends up making bad contact. And if it gets really bad and the ground stops, you can even get fires and hot spots on your wires and all sorts of things. That's why they're saying if you're going to do a proper restoration on an older vehicle, you really should replace the wiring harness, right? I get paint for cars online for $250, acrylic enamel kit. That same kit, Mopar, not in Canada, if you can even get it up here, would be $500 for sure. It'd be double that, because by the time it gets through customs and duties and everything else, like it's ridiculous up here, man. Rustoleum turbo cans, 4 cans of one with a fan nozzle. I don't think I've ever seen that, to be honest. If you guys, I don't know, some of you guys are moderators, you might be able to put a picture in the, try it anyway. I don't think I've ever seen that. I'll have to check into that. Magnesium chloride, new salt, very bad. Yeah, it never does any damn thing good for your metal, that's for sure. And most guys that have decent cars that want, like older cars that want to keep them in good shape, they don't drive them in the winter up here for obvious reasons, right? Yeah, I will Google it. I definitely will. Yeah, it's crazy here. You wouldn't believe it. If Joe and I sat you down, Mopar Nut, and told you, you wouldn't believe it. You really wouldn't. And none of you guys would believe it. What's Hoppy saying? Look them up. They're awesome. It's a spray can, but extra long and a huge spray pattern. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's interesting. I'll have to check into that. Yeah, that may not be available up here in Canada. I'm not sure. I'll have to check to see. We normally get our Rustoleum products from Canadian Tire or Home Depot or someplace like that, because we don't have like all the options you guys have in the States for buying stuff. Like you guys probably got a Lowe's down there and a dozen other different places you can get all that from. Beater car for the winter. Yeah, that's what we do. I've got an old piece of garbage Hyundai Sonata out there. That's my winter beater. Put the ones you want to keep decent away. Duty. Yeah, duty, like border duty. Like, for instance, I bought, what did I buy? Something here a few months ago. It was $45 American, which ended up being $67 Canadian. And then it came across the border, and then I got a bill for $62 for duty. Okay. And then the 15% HST on top of that. So more than the cost of the item to begin with. That's what we're dealing with anytime we order anything from the United States. Unless Our saving grace is Rock Auto. We can go and get stuff from Rock Auto, and I think a lot of that stuff comes from Brooklyn, or that they have a whole bunch of different depots. We can get it almost like in 2 or 3 days right to the door. And they have a brokerage firm in Rock Auto, and they do all the duty paperwork for us. So the price you pay that they quote you is the price, duty and taxes and everything in. So we love doing business with them, right? My car is parked for the winter. My truck is used for the winter. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why. You know why, Joe? I mean, the friggin' salt eats them to pieces, right? He came from Home Depot. Yeah, we got a Home Depot up here as well. Fires going on. Yeah, there's a lot of forest fires happening for sure up in the western part of the country. Truck gets fluid film every year on chassis. Yeah, that stuff's really good. I have a friend he buys that in 45-gallon drums, and he sprays. That's what he does, sort of, for like to make money. He sprays, the underside of cars and trucks with fluid film, and that stuff really does do the business. And here they even drill holes in the doors, and they put these rubber plugs in there, so you can actually pull the plugs out and spray all that stuff inside the door panels and whatnot. And that's the only thing that keeps these things together up here. Rock Auto just shows you what you got to pay in duty because they got their own in-house brokerage fee or brokerage people. They do up all the paperwork, and it's all included in the price. Like, for instance, the gas tank for the Ranger landed here in Canada was $130. That's with duties, brokerage fee, taxes, blah, 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 everything. So that's not too bad. Rock Auto for the win. Yeah, I mean, I use them a lot. I've got 2 fridges full of magnets, right? I've used them a lot over the years. There used to be another company in Toronto called Wrench Monkey. And I use them sometimes too. They do have pretty decent parts. Yeah, the struggle is real up here, Hoppy. Duty is a big chunk of it. If you're dealing with a company that you're not sure what you're going to get charged, I mean, sometimes it's even a month after you order this stuff that you get a bill in the mail from some whatever carrier, FedEx or somebody else, saying that you owe them a whole pile of duty, right? And of course, they never say that in the ad when you go to buy the product, not even in the fine print a lot of times. They just assume that you're going to cover any other expenses to bring it into your country, right? It'd be kind of nice to know before you ordered it. Ziebart did that kind of rust proofing holes. Yeah, that's a firm, I guess, that does that down there in the States. But yeah, that's what we do up here. Is they drill holes in the rocker panels and in the doors on the inside and on the B pillar and stuff, and then they put plugs in so that they can shoot that fluid film right way inside the bodywork. And especially non-frame type cars like unibody construction cars, which most vehicles are nowadays. That's the only thing that keeps them from falling completely apart. Yeah, fluid film works good. I haven't seen Will around at all. I don't know where he's off to. I haven't even seen any of his posts or anything. So he did mention, though, that he was going to be going on vacation or something. So maybe that's where he's at. I'm sure he'll be around. Sean's been busy too, I guess. I did see your video art. You got an exhaust fan in your shop there now. Looks pretty decent, eh? The good stuff. Yeah, that'll come in handy. And the week, like before this rain started, it was so bloody hot, man. Like the humidity one day here, I think it was last Wednesday, I looked at it and it was, you guys in the United States will understand this, it was 92 with the humidity. So that's pretty damn hot. It was so uncomfortable. I think I changed shirts like twice a day. just sweating like crazy, right? Even like not doing much. Yeah, I don't know, Sean too. Hey, Erica must have got back from Detroit, eh? But anyway, yeah, I haven't heard from him too much. I talked to him on the phone last week there briefly, but I haven't heard a lot from him. He's busy, obviously, right? But anyway, I put $40 worth of high octane fuel in the truck the other day and took it out for a run. It's working really good. No complaints in how it's running. It's running fine, perfect. So the fuel issue's been sorted. So I'm just trying to clean it up a bit, right, and get the scabbies off it, make it look a little better. For now, that's all that needs to be done. The thing's extremely solid for an 84. Like, I don't think you're going to find one that's cleaner. And you certainly won't find one around here that's got the stuff on it that mine has on it. Any years that were on the road, I've seen a bunch of them in the junkyard, but yeah, it's working good. I'm happy with how it's running. Brakes work good. You know, the lights are all working. Everything's tick tock on that. Used to do that for ziebart. Yeah, you know yourself, man. I mean, if you let them sit, it's the worst thing ever for them. I mean, it's a machine. It has to be exercised, right? It's like your generator. If you got a generator and you don't ever exercise it, like they recommend once a month, you fire the thing up, put a good load on it, and let it run for like 20 minutes to half an hour. It's the same thing with a car or truck or any type of machine. You have to run them. If you don't, and they sit around too long, the things start going out on them, right? You need everything to get lubricated again. You know what I mean? Like up to temperature to burn all the crap off, and your hoses and your belts and all that stuff, right? A couple of weeks. Pond was empty 2 weeks ago. Now it's over full. Yeah, well, you're getting the same rain we're getting. Yeah, she sounds pretty royal. When you get on her over 4,000 RPM, those side pipes really start coming alive. And the more I run it at that RPM, the more that fiberglass tends to leak out of them, and the better they sound. Because I don't think there's too much packing left in them. They initially were a lot quieter than they are, but they're still reasonably quiet until you get into the secondaries, and then the quiet goes away. Idle as death. You never retire. Yeah, you got to keep that stuff rolling. Like you guys have probably had rigs that were sitting around and the brakes all seize up on them and all the friggin', like, especially the older cars that had drum brakes with the star adjusters, you know what I mean? To move the shoes in and out on the brake drum, they all seize up, and your emergency brake cable seizes. And every time I park the truck, if I'm going to not drive it for a week, I don't put the emergency brake on, but I do use it. You know what I mean? Like, I keep pushing it and adjusting it and moving it so that wire keeps adjusting the brake, like, you know what I mean? So everything doesn't seize up on it. And when you're under there too, like, I have greasable U-joints. So when I grease everything in the truck, I think there's like 15 grease nipples on it. I always spray the emergency brake cable at both ends. I use PB Blaster. I find that to be really good. And I've never had any problems. And it's a good idea too to lubricate your pedals inside and things like that, right? Just keep everything moving. The door hinges, get a shot of that stuff from now once in a while, and that's just a good idea, right? Like I said, sitting around is death for them. It's no good. Rubber cups in the wheel cylinders rot. Yes, sir, they sure do. They sit around and they weren't leaking, and then all of a sudden they start to leak, you know, and sometimes they seal back up, but not very often. Oh. So you guys doing anything special for 4th of July today? Any barbecues or any of that stuff? Canadian Marauder, there's my friend from Saskatchewan. How you doing, bud? Never use my parking brake. I hear you, though. Yeah, well, if it's an automatic, most people don't bother using it. But on a standard vehicle, I like to keep them working. I mean, I never really drive any place like in the city where there's a lot of hills. And what I used to do when I lived in an area that was hilly and I had a standard car is I'd back the thing into the curb, put it in gear, and then put the emergency brake on. And that way it never moved. But, I like having them work. I mean, because you never know, right? You're going down the road and all of a sudden your your brakes fail. I mean, it's a dual cylinder, so you shouldn't lose front and back, but it's happened. And it's nice to have that option to be able to manually apply the brakes from inside the truck while you're going hayward down a hill. I mean, you're going to use your gears anyway to slow you down in that case, right? You just bring her into the next gear. But any case, yeah, that's about it, boys. Not that much else going on, really. Oh, I'll have a little short film, a 60-second short coming up probably Tuesday or Wednesday. I've got a really cool new bike in my shop right now that I'll be working on. You guys are going to like this one. It's a 1973 Kawasaki Z1B 900. Really cool original bike. And it's beautiful shape. It's got immaculate paint, chrome, everything on it. I built the engine for the guy a couple years ago. It was only running on 3 cylinders. So I had the engine all apart and put her back together for him. But he's left the fuel in it for 2 years, so I'm going to have to clean it all out. Mr. Tom, how are you doing, sir? Got fireworks tonight at 10. Right on. Happy 4th of July to you, Tom. You and yours, buddy. Yeah, I don't know if you realized it or not, Tom, but Canada Day was canceled this year, so there wasn't much going on. Barbecuing some green rolls. What are green rolls? Rolls that are bad or what? Oh, okay. Maybe I shouldn't ask. 80s full-size Broncos used to have bad brake pull and transmission, and seen a few roll down. Oh man, that's always fun, eh? Where's my car? Oh, there it is. Quarter mile down the road, piled up into some brand new thing. That's never a good feeling. I had that happen to me once, actually. But it wasn't a Bronco. It was an 84 Nissan wagon. And it was a cold, witchy, cold day, and I was going to trade school way back in the 90s, early 90s. And I started her up to warm it up while I went in to finish the last of my coffee and put the emergency brake on. Little did I know the emergency brake wasn't working. And she rolled out of gear. And she went all the way down the hill and across the road and smashed right into my neighbor's brand new Z28 that he had sitting in the driveway that still had the plastic on the seats. So needless to say, I was not too popular around them parts for a while. But anyway, whatever. Live and learn, right? It happens. I'm sure all you guys have got stories similar to that. I know what some of you Ford guys are thinking. It's just a Chevy. Yeah, it happens, man. I mean, it's one of those things, right? I should have known better. And actually, where the car was sitting was a nice flat piece of driveway. It shouldn't have rolled, but the wind might have pushed it. I don't know. Obviously, the emergency brake wasn't doing anything, zero. So, and when they get rolling like that and they're in neutral, and they sure do find a way of picking up steam, especially if they're going downhill. And the funny thing is that there was like an 8-foot ditch on either side of the road. I'm surprised the car didn't pile up into the ditch, which would have been fine because you couldn't have heard it anyway. I would have just got somebody to pull it out of the ditch, right? But instead, oh no, it finds its mark, right? Robert, how you doing, man? Happy 4th of July, buddy. Independence Day for my American brothers. But anyway, yeah, stuff like that happens. I could tell you some more stories too, some more craziness, but we probably shouldn't. We probably shouldn't broadcast that stuff too much. Anyway, yeah. So this Z1 is a really nice bike, and you're going to see what I'm going to be doing to it. Basically, the tank is coming off. I ordered a fuel tank restoration kit from POR 15. I'm going to treat the inside of the rusty tank and get it all cleaned up. Then the carburetors are going to come apart. I'm going to clean all the junk out of them, drain the fuel system, and put brand new gas in it, clean and gap the spark plugs, fire the thing up, and do some light tuning on the engine, and then get it running really good, and then take it out for a ride again. I'll check the charging system and all that stuff. And it's a really, really sweet old bike. It's got 30,000 kilometers or something on it, original 73. And the 900 was no slouch, boys. I don't know if you guys knew about them older Cowies, but that 900 engine they had, that inline 4, she was at her time, she was a super bike. But anyway, yeah, I rode it before. Like when I rebuilt it, I broke the rings in and stuff, and it goes pretty good for an old timer. It's an air-cooled job, right? But they don't make them like that anymore. Everything on that bike was machined, perfect, right? Like that was probably Japan's finest stuff that they ever made as far as motorcycles go. But anyway, and she's got that classy paint job, that red, black, and white with the lines on the fuel tank. Yeah, they work good right around 8,500 RPM. That's where the sweet spot is, between there and 10 grand. It's pure heaven. Yeah, thanks, man. We didn't have it this year. Our PM outlawed it, but a lot of people still celebrated. I knew some people that had some fireworks they shot off and whatnot. So, in any case, I'm surprised how many folks are on here tonight. I appreciate you guys coming on, because I know it is a holiday down there in the States, and I figured you maybe you were doing something or whatever. So thanks for spending your time bullshitting with me tonight. I appreciate it. Oh, that tea is still wonderful. I've been in 4 fuel tanks this last month. Oh, yeah? Rust and whatnot? Yeah, thanks, Art. Appreciate you coming on, buddy. I'll see you again real soon. I'm sure you'll have some content coming up. Yeah, the rust really plays havoc with the gas tanks, Robert, up here. It seems to be what happens is you leave, like, let's say you have half a tank of fuel, right? So everything that's below the fuel line isn't getting oxygen, so it's fine. But all that area from there up to the top of the neck is exposed. It's not covered in fuel, so it can oxidize. So when that happens, what do you get, right? I'm no chemist or physicist, but you get rust, as evidenced by the 3 inches of it in my old fuel tank. But I guess really, boys, 40 some years is not that bad to get out of a gas tank. You really shouldn't expect more than that. I don't think, anyway. Adam, what's going on, Adam? Thanks for coming on, my man. Oh, you got that Honda Shadow 1100. Yeah, right on. I know the bike. Those were good machines. Condensation, yes, sir. Yep. So when I put her away this winter, Mopar, I'm going to fill the gas tank right to the top, and then I'll put some preservative in it, and I'll run it for like 10 minutes to get it all through the jets and then the metering block and all through the carburetor and everything, and then shut it off. And last year I left the battery in it, and I just fired it up every couple of months or every month. I'm not worried about rusting this exhaust system out, because it's pretty short to begin with, but I'm actually hoping to get some more of the packing rusted out of the side pipes. So if it rusts because I don't bring it up to temperature, whatever, man. But that way you don't have to pull the battery or anything else. And you can still you can get the engine hot and get it up to like 170, 165 and run it and stuff. And you're moving the fuel through it. So your accelerator pump diaphragms don't all dry up and start leaking and floats stick and all that sort of jazz. You guys that have had Harley carburetors, you know what I'm talking about. Tappa with the wrench to get that float to start moving again because it's stuck. And ethanol fuel is just, it's poison. It just does not do anything good for the inside of your fuel system. If we had E85 here, I would run that. Because you can make a ton of power on it. I use that Port 15 urethane on my Marauder frame and lower body. Looks good. It was a lot of work paint. Yeah, but the stuff's like bullets, eh? Like you have a hard time grinding that shit off when you get it on there. It's just, it stays on there permanent. I did my fuel tank in my Virago, what was it, 6 or 7 years ago. And I've left it dry all winter. No fuel in it at all. And no rust, not even a speck of rust. So, I mean, the stuff works, obviously, right? But anyway, fellas, I think I'm going to keep her short tonight. My dog sounds like he's having a conniption fit here behind me. He wants to go outside. So I'm going to sign off, let you guys get back to your 4th of July celebrations. Thanks for coming on here, guys. I appreciate every one of you. I follow your channels. I watch the videos you guys put up, and I appreciate the same. And we'll get some better content on there. I'm not going to make excuses why I didn't get great videos up this week, but we're going to try and do something a little better. I do have a video of working on a brand new Kawasaki Mule I want to put up too. And there's some handy tips in there. But anyway, thanks for coming on, guys. I appreciate you all. Have a great night. Have a great and happy 4th of July. And I look forward to better times for everybody. Cheers, boys. Thumbs up for Warriam. Stay classy.